Hey, what's up, guys? This is Fabio Hart coming back with another live video. Um, I give you guys a minute to start loading in here before I really get started. Wrote down a few notes. First and foremost, I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Hopefully, you guys be safe when you're doing your fireworks. But we're going to jump right into it in a minute. Uh, what I'm going to be talking about today on this video. And again, this is stuff that I've spoke on before, but I get asked a lot of different things in the email, you guys. So I do want to tap in on it. I'm going to be talking about hiring employees, making a conversion from employee to a business owner, and background checking your company and you. I kind of go into detail exactly what I'm talking about in a minute. I just want to give you guys a minute to load in for those that's going to load in. Um, and once again, happy 4th of July, you guys. It's Gatorade. All right, guys. Well, as I said, I'm coming back with another video. What I want to talk about, happy 4th, DJ the Boss. Like I said, what I'm going to talk about is hiring employees, making a conversion from employee to business owner, and background checking you and your company. I'm kind of going in detail what that means in a minute. Hey, Lamar, happy 4th. Okay, guys. Now let's start with hiring employees. That's probably by far one of the most asked questions besides Fabio, how do I get a new contract? That's, like one of my most asked questions. Fabio, how do I hire employees or how do I keep employees? Here's the thing, guys, and I said this on many other videos. I'm gonna say it again on this video. You always should be hiring. Okay, you should always be at least at the very least accepting applications. Okay, you should never get caught where you have these contracts, you have them available, and you don't have nobody to work. Okay, the way I like to run it, and it just makes sense to me to do it this way, guys, is I like to have more applications than I have contracts. Okay, um, and the reason being is because in the early one stages, guys, just think about it. And go ahead and like, share, and subscribe if you're just joining. But in the beginning stages, when I first started my cleaning business, right? I was more focused on, which I'm still focused on now, but I was kind of more focused on getting the contract. I'm thinking like, well, once I get this contract, I'll be able to find somebody to clean it. And that was by far one of the most difficult things ever. Why? Because everybody is not cut from the same cloth, right? Everybody don't have the same mentality as you. Everybody don't care much about your business as you do. Everybody really don't even want to work, right? They just if they can find a way around actually working for you and still making that $9, $10 an hour, whatever it is you pay them, they would do it. So what I found myself doing is hiring on impulse, which is what a lot of you guys do, right? Now, I do not hire family. I do not hire friends. I don't want to mess up those relationships. And if you really want to F your business up really, really quick, that will be the quickest way to do it, I believe, right? Hiring family and friends. Now, that's not for everybody. Some people have a better family and friendship with their friends than maybe myself. But for the most part, I would suggest people not to hire their family and friends. So here is the thing, you should always be hiring. You ever go into those, should have said that to me last year. Yeah, well, I probably did say it. You probably didn't catch those videos, but like I say, never just never hire your family and friends, right? If you keep those relationships intact, just don't hire your family and friends. Okay? But like I say, you should always be hiring. You ever go to those like little delis or those little maybe little restaurants in your area, your town, Coney Islands, we have them out here. Maybe even Waffle House if you're in the South. They always have these help wanted in the window, right? Or now hiring. And have you ever wondered why they never take down those stickers or they never take down the signs out the window? If you just remember, like your local Waffle House or your local eatery, whatever, you see it in the window now hiring, accepting applications, right? And they never take it down. It stays like that like all year round. If you just kind of think back, well, why do they do that? Like, why they don't just put the sign up, right? And then they take it down when they get enough apps. The reason being, guys, is because they would like to have more apps than they have positions available, right? When you have more apps, you create a lane, you create this lane for yourself where you have options at this point. You're not hiring off an impulse. For an example, if I have four accounts, four brand new accounts, let's say I walk out tomorrow, I acquire four brand new accounts, and I don't have any applicants. I'm probably going to hire the first person that come in, right? Because I need to fill those positions to make it easier for myself. Okay, which is what I like to call hiring on impulse. You just trying to hurry up and fill this job, and this person may not even be qualified. Now, what a lot of you guys aren't doing, either because you're being cheap or maybe you don't know how to go about to do it or whatever the case is. A lot of you guys are not drug testing, and a lot of you guys are not background checking. Okay. Now, what I find with the drug testing, I'll get to the other points in a minute. What I find with drug testing and background testing, my company, we do both. Now, there's different ways you guys can do it, and I'm gonna give them to you. Now, they do have kits, drug testing kits, where you can do the swab with the saliva. You can also go to like laboratories, right? You can send the results in or send your employee into a certain lab that you have an account set up with. So they'll go ahead and drug test the potential employee, right? They go ahead and do it, and then they charge you this monthly or weekly fee or whatever the case is per person that they drug test on your behalf. Okay. And you can just set that up easy. Okay. Or you can get those kits. Like my company, we do the kits for the most part where you swab and it'll tell you what they have in the system or, if they passed or failed. Right? It's really, really simple, really, really easy to do. It's almost like I say, a home kit. You can get these kits, you can order them online, as many as you want, right? Whatever increment you want to order, you can just order it online. That way you have them on deck. So when you go to hire somebody, you already have these kits available where you can go ahead and drug test them. Now, here's the thing. What I find is a lot of time your client wants to know those results. Okay? So sometimes people they'll hire you, but they want to know if your employee is drug tested and what the background check is on your employee. But if you haven't done either or, then how do you know? Okay. Now this is not for everybody. Excuse me. Now, like my bigger accounts, my plants, my industrial facilities that we do, guys, a lot of times they will want those results. Okay. The dentist offices smaller, the chiropractors, the smaller clients, a lot of times they don't ask for that, right? All they kind of care about is that you do a great job cleaning up the facility. Okay. But like I say, I'm kind of getting off a script here. But the thing is, you always want to be hiring. You always want to be accepting apps. Okay. Like on my vehicle, we have the magnet. Okay. When I first got the magnet put on the vehicle, it was for what I thought was I was going to get more clients. I was going to get more customers. Well, that turned out not to be the truth. I actually attract more employees or potential employees with the magnet. I'm driving down the street. I'm at the stoplight. Somebody take a picture of my car, or they, write down the number. They call, ask, "Are you guys hiring? I seen your car here. I seen you at the stoplight. I seen you, wherever. Are you doing any hiring?" Okay, so it's a lot of ways to get potential employees, guys. Believe it or not, my top way is using Facebook. My top way is using Facebook. Now, I used to get a lot of my employees. I don't so much do this anymore, but I used to get a lot of my employees through Craigslist. Okay, well, Craigslist is no longer. I pull a lot of my employees straight from Facebook, but they can't be anybody that I know personally. Um, it can't be a family member, can't be a personal friend or anything like that, but just maybe somebody random that's on my Facebook that's looking for work. Put an ad out in a particular group, or they have these different groups that you can join, employment opportunity groups and different things like that. I'll put an ad out there, let it germinate, and then my inbox to start doing numbers, right? Hello, is it Zaire? Zaire? So I'll put these at. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, guys. And what we're talking about now is hiring employees. Okay, just for those that's just joining. Um, but I'll put an ad out. Now hiring. Part-time cleaners. You know, da 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 da. Give the details of the ad. Put it in a little group and let it germinate. Right. Let it post. Let people get a chance to see it or whatever the case is, and they'll get the inboxing you about the position. Okay. What you can do is take the numbers. What's up, Fabi? Ohio, continue winning. Hey, what's up? What's up? Cleaning vessel, what's up? So, what's up, everybody? What's up? Thank you for joining me. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe, guys. I really, really greatly appreciate you guys. Just open my business. Okay, great, great, phenomenal. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, guys. I really greatly appreciate you guys. I really do. So, to get back to employees, you should always be hiring. You should have more applicants coming in than you have positions, okay? Because you don't want to get caught in a situation where you have these accounts and you can't staff them. You don't have anybody to put there. But if you're always hiring, so when you're out in the public and you have your shirt on or you have your baseball cap on with your logo or your company name or whatever the case is, when you're out with your flyers, when you're whatever, maybe church members, wherever you're at, people see your advertisements, they see the magnet on your car, they see your hat, your shirt. Are you guys doing anything hiring? Always have business cards on you. Okay, that's the quickest way where you can give them a business card and they can contact you quickly instead of here, write my number down and this and this and that. You give them a card. Okay, but the thing is, like I say, you should always be hiring. You should always be hiring, even if you don't have any positions. Always be hiring. Always be accepting applications. Okay, so when you do get the positions, you'll have a stack of apps to work from, opposed to hiring off of impulse. Okay, that's why you guys having a high turnover rate. Okay, and a lot of you guys are not doing detailed training. You're not training your staff. Okay, so they get in, they do whatever the hell they want, they mess up something, they steal, they do whatever the hell they want to do, and it all falls on you, the business owner. It's no secret my staff stick around for a very long time, but I have a system in place. I really have this. Not, I'm not. I'll be lying if I tell you I don't have any turnover rates. Where I have turnover, people get higher paying jobs, or people move out of state or move out of town or whatever the case. They quit or whatever the case, right? So it happens. But for the most part, my employees actually stay around with me for a very long time. Now, it's a lot that goes into the training, right? It's how you treat them. Okay, you treat others the way you want to be treated. It's just a lot of different things that go into play when you're doing your hiring. How you interview them, you can get a lot out of an interview, guys. A lot of you guys don't do the interview. You put them on an application, put them on a W-2 or 1099, and then you hire them right in. It's not the way to do it. It should be a process. Okay, it should be a process. So if you guys are not willing to put in the training, the proper training for hiring your employees, right? You should have like a detailed list of a set questions that you like to ask. And like I said, you ask these same questions to every single person that you hire, right? You should have like a list of questions. Why would you want to work for us? How did you hear about us? If I hired you today, what would be a long-term goal with us? Um, Asking something like, are you money motivated, or are you education motivated? Something like that. that give you an idea if they there for the money or they there for the experience. They there for the knowledge. They there to gain something new. Okay, because like I say, just because somebody is working for you for your commercial cleaning company don't mean they ever did that before, but it kind of give you a perspective. I find the people that's more money motivated are the people that stay around the longest, right? They have children they have to provide for, right? They have this bill, they have this, they don't, they their baby daddy the check isn't enough or whatever the case, the child support check, whatever the case, right? They have these different reasons. Those be the people that, for what I see, stick around, right? And everybody is different. Everybody, but you get a huge perspective on the questions that you ask them. You will understand a lot more about this individual based on the questions that you ask at the interview process. Okay, so I'm kind of breaking this stuff down, guys. It mean a lot. I know it sounds like what the hell is he talking about, or it might sound something that you've heard before, but the fact of the matter is, it actually worked. I have a very low turnover rate. In the beginning, I will tell you how I used to hire. I used to hire based on looks. I'm being absolutely honest with you. I put an ad out. The young lady come in. She got a banging body. She looked pretty. She looked like she'd look good in my uniform shirt. And I'm smitten by the way that she looked. And that's the absolute God truth, guys. That's the way I used to hire in the very, very beginning. I ask a few questions, say, hey, let me look over your application more. If we're interested, we'll give you a call back in 2 to 3 days. Well, before she even get up and walk out, I already know that I'm gonna hire her. Like, damn, she bad as hell. I'm about to hire her, right? And that's how I used to hire, and that was an absolute mistake. Okay, I'm gonna get to you guys' question, guys. I'm gonna get to your question. Oops, I got my tripod up. I got my tripod up here. Sorry, guys. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to finally catch you on live. Okay, Valerie. Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna get to you guys' questions. I promise. I'm gonna get to them. Just keep it coming in. I just wanted to let you guys know, like, this is how I used to hire in the beginning. The way I used to hire, that's the absolute God's truth. The way I used to hire in the beginning, get this applicant. She come in. She has a nice body. She look great. She pretty as crap. And I'll go ahead and be like, all right, well, give us 2 to 3 days. We have other applicants that we have to, look at. If we're interested, we give you a call back. Uh, do your W-2s or whatever the case is. As soon as she get up, I'm like, sheesh, she's hired. She don't know it yet, but she's hired. That's a terrible. Now, some of you guys, for my fellas, some of you guys might look at it and you might go that route. But at least engage and make sure that they're a great fit for your company. Okay, or for my women, if you do that with the guys or whatever the case, whatever your measure, however you hire. But believe it or not, even when I would go and put in a job application somewhere, I kind of had a good feeling if they was going to hire me. And people hire based on the way that you look. Trust me, it happens. People judge you before you even go to a training, orientation, whatever the case is. People already judging you, okay, based on the way that you look, okay. So it wouldn't be unreasonable that you would do that same thing to someone else. But the thing is, you want to make sure that they're a great fit. You don't want to do it just based upon looks, because then you'll get somebody that are no call, no show. You get somebody that have all these problems. They just have a lot going on. If you're just joining me, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We're talking about hiring employees. Like I say, that's one of the most asked questions that I get asked in my email on a consistent basis. Fabio, how do I keep employees? Well, you keep employees based on your training. Okay, you have to be willing to train. You have to be willing to train. You have to be willing to train. I'm not talking about just showing somebody something one time. You have to make sure that you show them, you teach them. You have to make sure you're approachable. Like some of you guys, I talk to some people and they say, well, Fabio, my wife, she doesn't like when people text me after a certain, when you have a business, it's 24/7. When you have a business, it's 24/7. So if you have a cleaner business and your wife don't like when your employees or anybody texts you after 9 o'clock p.m., but you have workers out to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, right? They're just getting off. They have a question, and they can't text you because of what your wife think or whatever the case is. Then don't be surprised if you're going to lose that contract or perhaps lose that employee. Okay, you always have to be accessible, guys. Okay, and this is just part of the training. They have to know that they're able to reach out to you at any given time, even if you're asleep. Even if you're asleep, they have to know that it's okay to reach out to you. Okay, and you can't cock an attitude because they hit you up and it's 12 midnight, because you don't know what it is that they're asking. You don't know what it is that they need to know. All right. So again, if you're not gonna designate yourself to be the person to answer the question, then you need to hire a supervisor, what we like to call a field supervisor. This is somebody that knows what you know, that can deal directly with the employee directly. Okay, most of you not going to have that in the beginning because you're just getting started. You're starting off, so you got to be that person. You got to be the field supervisor, the business owner, the payroll, the human resources, the administrator. You got to be everything in the beginning. Okay, but again, guys, it's paramount that you listen to what I'm saying, because again, I've been through what some of you guys has been through. Okay, again, just to recap: don't hire family, don't hire friends. Don't hire family, don't hire friends. How do you pay your employees? I pay my employees W-2. I use paychecks. Paychecks, I've been sending a lot of people to paychecks, and a lot of people have been thanking me. Paychecks is PAYCHEX.com, paychecks.com. That's the payroll service provider that I use. I've hired some people that hire ADP. ADP is another big company, right? They're just as good as paychecks. Some people will argue that they're better than paychecks. I tend to think paychecks is better than ADP. That's my personal opinion, right? So, but you can use whoever you want to use. Meaning, oh, what do I pay? Wages? It depends on experience. I generally start everybody off at minimum wage, or maybe 50 cents on top of minimum wage. Okay. And then I tell them that there's room for growth, right? In the first 90 days, because I would hate to pay somebody $12, $11 an hour, 12.75 an hour, right? Which is pretty big in the Detroit area. That's paying pretty big, pretty good in Detroit. And then they don't stay with me. So I'm gonna pay this money out and they don't stay with me. But if I can kind of give them a 90-day probation, and I'll pay them minimum wage, especially if they don't have any training coming in, and I got to train them. They never did this before. You got some people, they have the training, they've done cleaning before, they've done maintenance or janitorial work before. You check with their references. You see how much they know, what they know, right? You ask some questions, and then you can pay that person a little bit more because they have a history of doing this line of work. Okay. Let me see here, guys. Let me answer some of these questions before I get to my next point here. What they tell Nicholas? Okay. Latrice, she say, I just emailed you about coaching help. Tell Nicholas and Jasmine, thanks for the help. Okay. Thanks, Latrice Chambers. Greatly appreciate you. Happy 4th. And detailed information. Thanks for sharing the detail. T. Jones, you're welcome. I say, DJ say, too honest. I'm assuming we're talking about the way I used to hire. I'm so excited. I'm glad to catch you. Okay, Valerie. Okay. Let me see. Do I have any questions? How do you train them? Okay, well, let's talk about training. Katrina, welcome. Welcome, Katrina Walker. How do you train them? Well, training will vary building by building. Okay. That's why I like to tell people to work in a facility 30 days to 60 days in by themselves before they even hire a staff person for the account. Okay. Now I do know business owners that they get a new account and then they hire right away. The cool thing about waiting 30 to 60 days in where you do the work is that you don't have to pay nothing out for a month or two, right? So that income is for your business, your supplies, whatever, right? You don't owe anything out. You just pretty much owe yourself because you've been the only one that's cleaning the building for the first 2 months or the first 30 days. So I like to tell people work 30 days to 60 days in by themselves because that will get you familiar with the building, with the facility, what needs to be done, how it need to be done. So when it's time to go hire people, again, you've already had these apps, right? If you're doing it the way I say do it, you already have these apps available. You can just kind of peel through the apps, right? You can go through the apps, what you have, what you accumulated over time, right? Call Joe. Hi, this is Fabio with Hollywood Janitorial Service. Are you still looking for employment? Hi, Sandy. Are you still looking for? Hi, Jessica. Are you still looking for? Hi, Amanda. Are you still looking for? Right? You got all of these apps, opposed to thinking like, man, I got this account and I have nobody to put in the account, right? That's why I say you should have more accounts, more apps than you have accounts, or well, more applicants than you have positions, right? So as those positions become available, you don't hire off an impulse, right? You have a stack of apps in your little folder that you can kind of work from, opposed to just hiring the first person to come in the door, like so many of us have done and probably do. Okay, let me see here. Okay, how do you get your W-9? Okay, how many contracts you need to start? Well, how many contracts do you need? You can have one contract and start hiring, right? I would suggest you work 30 to 60 days in, right? So you don't have to pay that revenue out, from the top, from the gate. You work 30 to 60 days in, and as you get familiar with the building, you train yourself, then you bring somebody in, right? Because you've already been working in it for 30 days. You've already been working in it for 2 months, right? So now it's time to bring somebody in. You'll be able to effectively train them because you know what to do. You've been in the facility, okay? Why don't you give customers business cards with barcode numbers so they Mike, you can do that if that's a way that you want to do. Give them, uh, let me see here. Mike said give the business card with the barcode. If that's the way you want to go, Mike, that's a cool way to go. That's a cool way. Like I tell people, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just not a way that I do it. Right? My company, we do north of a quarter million annually, right? And it's my system, the way I've been doing it works really good. I'm open to new ideas. That might be something that I look into. Uh, it's a lot of things that come my way I look into, and I say, you know what, it's just not for me. It might be for the next guy. But once again, it's no right or wrong way. So if that's something that you're thinking about doing, go ahead and give it a shot. It might be, it's just part of what you do, right? It's part of your system. Let me see here. The trees. She said, when I hire my first employee, how do you pay them? You pay them monthly on the account. I do that. Latrice, it could get, I pay bi-weekly, right? But you can pay weekly. It's your business, so it depends on what you want to do. But it gets, from a legal aspect, it gets really detailed. That'll be something that I would probably want to talk to you about more, where I can kind of break it down at a way that you can understand. So yeah, we can definitely kind of talk about that as far as your setup, your payroll system, how you handling payroll, how you handling the taxes on it from A to Z. Okay, we can kind of talk about that. Um, I receive your method door to door. I need contracts to stay alive. What do you suggest? Let's see. Contracts. I got so many videos on how to pick up new contracts, the way I pick up new contracts, guys. I got some other points I want to touch here too, so I want to make sure you guys stay with me. I wrote down some notes so you see me glancing down. The first topic that I talked about was hiring employees. I'm gonna go into the next one in a minute, but contracts. Here it is, guys. There's no right or wrong way to get contracts. The ways that I suggest people to get contracts is what worked for me and has worked for a lot of other subscribers. I like to do low cost marketing, low to no cost marketing. Okay. And that would be the phones and going door to door. Okay. Now he said, let me see, was it a he? I don't know, cleaning vessel, if you're he or she, I'm sorry, but you say you need to stay alive. In order to stay alive in that, the best way is to look for government contracts online. Okay. The best way to stay no money, phones, door to door. Yep, money, everything else. Yep, no money. Yep. The best way to stay alive, pretty much, okay, cleaning vessel is that you just have to stay at it. I wish I can give you a magic formula or some type of formula to to pick them up quick. And if I knew a formula that would pick them up quick like that, trust me, I'll tell you, right? Because I can't monopolize the industry even if I wanted to. It's a huge industry, right? The most that I can tell you is to stay proactive every single day. Run your business like a presidential campaign. I tell people that all the time. When they're campaigning to become president, they don't just do one method, right? They use radio, they use television, right? They use business cards and postcards and flyers and hats and stickers. They use all different methods, right? Online methods, social media, offline methods, door to door, right? They set a rally up at the park. They do this. And they have all these different ways. Run your business like a presidential campaign. Just do the free stuff first. Let the free stuff bring in income. That's why when I say free, I'm talking about door to door and picking up the phones. The phones is free to me because everybody have a phone. You just have to get the calling, and everybody have two hands and two legs, right? You just have to get to walking and knocking doors, right? So that's more time consuming, but it's free to do. In the beginning, when I didn't have no money to start my commercial cleaning business, I ordered the course, right? I read the course from cover to cover. No money was coming in. So I had to get off my ass and get out there and get the knocking doors. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be told no. I didn't want to pick up the phones initially like I did because I didn't want to get hung up on, right? But when that money kept dwindling out of my account and nothing was going in the account, I was feeling really down bad, right? I had to do something. So I got off my butt. I got out there in the streets and I got the knocking doors. And I found that to be the most effective way. Once I started doing it and I got my first account, it was really simple and more easier to get my second account and get my third account and get my fourth account. And then I switched states. I went from Michigan to Ohio, from Ohio to Georgia. I stayed in Houston, right? Didn't get the results that I wanted in Houston. I moved to VA. I stayed in Portsmouth and Virginia Beach, right? Had contracts out there, many contracts out there, right? Sold them to a franchise, that type of thing. You guys heard the story about that, right? But again, I knew that I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to have the time. And that's what I tell you guys. If you don't have the money, you must have the time. Okay? It's if you have the money, right, you can pay somebody to do what you don't want to do, right? But you're usually going to have either or in the beginning. It's very rare that people have a lot of money to work with and a lot of time to work with. They usually have either or in the beginning. Okay? So all I'm saying is you guys got to learn to put one foot in front of another and get out there and knock those doors. There's no easy way to pick up the contracts. You can use social media. Okay. You don't hear me talk a lot about it because I haven't found it to be as effective as the uh, offline methods that I use, door to door and picking up the phones. Okay, so the grind, yeah, you gotta stay grinding on it. You have to stay grinding. Again, if I find a more easier way that I feel is easier, I'll share that as it become available. But right now, I still pick up a lot of my accounts off of brand recognition. Okay. So I'm in the communities, I'm doing stuff. So people kind of, hey, Fabio, hey, how's it going, Fabio? Oh my God, Fabio, can I get a selfie with you, Fabio? So in my community, in my area, people, I'm pretty familiar with me, right? I've been on local television. I have a established relationship with the radio stations in my area. So it's nothing for me to get like booked, right? It's just finding a story or having something that's tangible that the people can touch, right? But I like to keep myself in front of everybody. I like to keep myself in front of the masses. I like to be visible, right? Because when people know who you are, they treat you different. When I first started knocking doors, I'm just like every other cleaner. Now when I knock doors, not everybody, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everybody in my section know me, right? But what I'm saying is people they have the I seen you somewhere before, you look familiar, or they have seen me or they're aware who I am, so they treat you different. It's easier for you to kind of get into accounts when people kind of know who you are. It's easy for life, period, when people know who you are. So I have that kind of going for me. So I don't have that much of a struggle, because when people know who you are, like I tell people, I like to use this analogy all the time. If I ask you guys, how many lawyers do you see on TV on a regular basis? Right? I'm sure you can name me at least five lawyers, local lawyers in your area. But if I ask you guys how many commercial cleaning companies you see advertising or you see in the media on your local news or whatever the case is, you probably couldn't give me one. Why not you? Right? So you can do the same thing that a lawyer do, right? In terms of advertising on television, getting in the media, this, and I'm kind of getting off the script, but I'm kind of giving you guys a broader picture, a bigger picture to look at this. Why not you? How many lawyers do you hear advertising on the radio? If you get hit by a bus, call 1-800 this and this and this. If your doctor then flipped you off the bed and call this and this and this, right? So you hear this on the radio, but if I ask you how many commercial cleaning companies do you hear advertising on the radio, you probably couldn't give me one. If I ask you how many uh, uh, commercial cleaning companies you see in the media in your local area, you probably couldn't give me one. If I ask you how many commercials you see on television where they're the local cleaning company, is advertising cleaning services, you probably couldn't give me one. So just because it haven't been done, don't mean it can't be done. You just have to be the first to do it. That's the way I think about it, right? Just because it have not been done, don't mean it can't be done. You just have to be the first to do it. Okay. So let me see here, guys. Radio free for free caller. Yeah, Mike, it's a lot of different ways you can do it. Right, DJ. See? Yeah, you when you don't have no money, you follow the same thing that I'm saying. You didn't have no money, right? And those free methods help bring in money. If you do them long enough, you stay in the game long enough, it'll bring in money, and with that money, you can in turn do extra things with it, right? You can add more to your marketing plan. You can start going from this to that. You can start doing more because you have revenue dollars coming in. Okay, let me see here. Yes, yes, T. Jones. Okay, So let me talk about this, and I'm gonna get into my next points, guys. We I want to cover everything. Make sure your questions get answered. So T Jones, he asked me about this email that we post on the community tab. I don't know how many of you guys seen it, but I received the email about 6 a.m. yesterday morning, right? Apparently somebody, and I have talked to the person already. Phil, check where you work at. I don't find it to be a problem. I don't find it to be a problem as long as you're willing to make that conversion from employee to business owner at that particular location. And this for Katrina Walker. She asks, how do you feel about having a contract where you work at? If you can take it over, if you can go from employee to, entrepreneur, and you can actually get hired at where you work at, that'd be phenomenal, right? But if you get hired there, you probably wouldn't want to work there, right? Because it could be a conflict in interest, right? So you want to be ready to be that entrepreneur and step out the box to go from employee to entrepreneur, okay? Which I'm talk about a great deal. Let me see what's the best way to advertise and be able to put a client to your business. The best way to advertise put a client to you can do direct marketing, direct mail, especially if your flyer, if your mailing piece is good, if your sales letter is good. You should be able to get a great response back from that. That's to Philip Thomas. Hawk, you would be too dependent on that one spot. You won't grow. Exactly, and I told my boss that. Yeah, that'll be a conflicting interest, right? So, but if you can do both, Katrina, do both. If they willing to do it, but you don't want to. I just feel it'll be more of a conflicted interest. So I feel like you should do like one or the other. Or if you want to keep the job and you want to think smart, right? What you can do is have somebody that work for you go in and solicit that business, right? They can be acting on your behalf, okay, and you actually pick up the contract through somebody that worked for you, that's somebody that's on your team, on your camp, and you can still stay working there and cleaning, and they don't even know that it's your cleaning company, right? So that's another way that you can kind of look at it if you kind of want to keep the job and still you know pick it up as a contract, right? That's just a way to think outside of the box. um what was I talking about? Oh, the picking up the new contracts. So, like I say, the way that I like to do it is by phone. I like to do the free methods first before I do anything, any paid methods. Paid methods is, and I'm not against online. A lot of people think I'm against online ways to pick up new contracts. If you can do it online, do it online. I just don't find it to be as effective really quickly. A lot of times when people say, "Well, Fabio, somebody called me, they seen me on Google, or they see me on Yelp, or they see me on these platforms." In order for them to see you on Google, I love online. Yeah, online is a good way. In order for them to see you on Google, they have to be searching for a cleaning company, right? Unless you just somehow they target them somehow, be it online. Okay, like Facebook is like person to person. It's not as like B2B, business to business, right? So people ask me, well, Fabio, should I put up an ad on Facebook, like a sponsor ad or advertising ad on Facebook, where they pay Facebook the dollars and Facebook advertise their commercial cleaning business? I find it to be very effective if you offering like a carpet cleaning service, and I've seen carpet cleaners do it in my area, and residential service, but not for commercial, because you got to think like, I'm not saying no commercial companies have a Facebook account. I just feel like it won't give you the absolute return for your dollar doing it on Facebook. Okay, I haven't found it to be as effective on Facebook for me. But I have used it for carpet cleaning jobs that we do outsource, and I have used it for um, residential. And I'm a big fan of it for residential. Like if you do Facebook advertising and you want to do a sponsor ad on Facebook, I find it to work well for like carpet cleaners, I find it to work well for like window cleaners. I find it to work well for residential, because again, like you're dealing with people, more or less business, okay, on Facebook. It's just people, right? Different people that might need these services, right? Not saying businesses don't, I just don't find it to be the best bang for the dollar, if that makes sense, guys. Okay, and that's just my own personal opinion. Don't take it and say, well, Fabio said don't advertise my business on Facebook. I'm not telling you not to do it, right? I just haven't found it to be as effective for me. But if you give it a shot and it'll work for you, add it to your system. Again, I don't know everything that there is to know about commercial cleaning. I'm still learning like you guys, and I just share my knowledge with you guys as I grow, right? Okay, so right, you got to do what worked for you. Number two, let's talk about making that conversion. Okay, making that conversion. What are we talking about, Fabio? And this is what I was talking about with Katrina just a second ago. It's just on my list here. Um, Making that conversion from employee to entrepreneur. Now I get so many emails about this, guys. I get so many people that say, "Well, Fabio, I have a job. Fabio, I'm really, really scared to step out on faith. I'm really, really scared. Like, I got my business registered, Fabio. I've been listening to your videos. I got my insurance. I got my business checking account. I got my paperwork in order. I got everything in order. I'm ready to go. But Fabio, it's just something that's telling me that if I leave my job and go into this thing full fledged, like, what if I don't get any contracts? Then how I'm gonna pay my bills? Um, who's gonna watch my kids? Who's gonna, like? I get a lot of emails like this, guys, and that's why I put it on my list. Guys, here's the thing. I would never tell anybody to quit their job right off rip. What I would suggest that you do is keep your job simultaneously running your commercial cleaning business. Now, I like to tell people, when you start making at least what you're making at your job, then you're on the right track. When you double what you're making at on your job, you're doing even better. When you triple what you're making at your job, you're doing phenomenal. Okay. So I like to tell people, wait till you double what you're making or triple what you're making at your job. Then that's a good sign that you can let your job go. Okay. Even if you were making what you're making at your current job, making what you making at your current job, you can still let your job go. But you have to think that you don't want to put yourself in a bind where that income is neck and neck, where if you make one wrong turn, you can mess up a lot with your business. So I like to tell people, so for an example, if you're bringing in $2,000 a month, right, and this is after taxes, okay, after taxes you bring in roughly $2,000 a month, and just hypothetically, I'm just playing with numbers here. If you're living okay off of $2,000 a month, okay, this is after taxes, then I'm pretty sure you can live okay with $2,000 a month in commercial cleaning. Okay. If you're making $4,000 a month, you're already double what you're making at your job, right? If you're making $4,000 a month and you get paid, let's say $2,000 roughly after taxes, you already double what you're currently making at your job. So if you were doing okay with $2,000 a month, we know that you would be doing better with $4,000 a month. I think we would agree. Okay. But look, if you can make $6,000 in monthly billing, if you can make $6,000 in monthly billing, you'll be doing phenomenal, right? Because you were already doing okay with the 2,000 that you were bringing in from your job. Now you're making 4,000. You're doing, you know, a little bit better. Now you're making $6,000 in monthly billing. You're doing a lot better, right? And you just kind of keep it growing. So again, I would say keep your job simultaneously while you're running your commercial cleaning business. Okay, let me read some of these Chamber of Commerce. Philip, the Chamber of Commerce is a good way to go. Let me see here. No, that's not where you go for the business license. Not the Chamber of Commerce. Let me see. Topic revenue and community. You can't be a member. Now you're doing good, DJ Boss. Basically, your license. Just reading the comments, guys. Just reading the comments here. The $80,000 contract I sent you a couple months ago came from. Not bad. It what works for you. Never seen that kind of money. Mhm. Let's see here. Okay, so again, making a conversion, guys, you got to find it. You got to find a way to make that happen, right? Um, I would, like I said, I would never tell anybody to quit their job unless you have a substantial amount saved, right? But the best way I would suggest, like if I had a job and I was looking to start a commercial cleaning business, I wouldn't just kind of say, well, you know what, let me quit my job and I'm going to start this business, right? Because I understand bills still have to get paid, things still have to be done, right? So what I would do is start my business simultaneously while I'm still working, right? So the money that I'm making at my job, I would kind of penny pitch where I could, right? I still have to pay other bills, but I would go ahead and get my DBA, go ahead and set up the banking account, go ahead and get the insurance if I can, right? Go ahead and start, little by little until I start building this thing and getting a little traction. Okay, so once you start getting traction from the actual going out, going door to door, making your calls, whatever you're doing, online marketing, whatever you're doing, once you start getting a little traction and you start picking up contracts, then you can kind of feel a little bit comfortable about letting your job go. But I will only do that if I was making probably double or triple what I was making at my job. So if you're like making 2,000, like I say, $2,000 a month, and that's just after tax, that's what you bring home, right? Then when you're making $4,000 to $6,000 a month in your commercial cleaning business, is probably when I would quit my job. Now, $6,000 is nothing, like to me, like in just monthly revenue, right? Like it is nothing to me, right? But for the person that it's just accustomed to making $2,000, that'll do a lot for them, right? That means everything. That means the world for them. You understand? So again, you don't want to quit cold turkey, right? And just totally, because again, especially if you got children or other things that need to be handled. So you don't want to just quit cold turkey and just jump right into commercial cleaning business, your commercial cleaning business. But by the same token, you don't want your job to hinder you from starting your commercial cleaning business. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. I think a lot of people get too comfortable at their job and they say, you know what, I'm gonna start this business. They watch my videos, they watch other videos, they just get too comfortable at their job and they never put that energy in to start a commercial cleaning business. Therefore, it feel like they never can get out the rat race. They feel like they can never leave their job. They can't get out the job because they have not taken the initiative in going to start the business, right? So the money that you're using for, let's say, getting drinks, weed, whatever, going to concerts or whatever the case is, you can be taking those dollars and little by little starting your commercial cleaning business. Like I wouldn't even tell you to take your whole paycheck, right? And say take your paycheck and then invest that into your commercial cleaning business, right? Because you got kids, you got other expenses that come out of that. You got rent, you got car note, you got other things that need to be done. So, but you can take 10, 15, 20, $30 here and invest it into your business. And, it's going to be slow growth, right? But it'll be worth the while. It'll be worth the while. You say I'm sidetracking? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm reading the comments. It's so much going on in my comments. I'm so sorry, but it'll be worth the while to kind of like take a little from the money that's coming in from your job, and go ahead and invest it directly into your business, right? Instead of just saying, you know what, F my job, I'm just gonna start this commercial cleaning business. He said you need to buy not me. Oh, okay. He said you need to buy a Ford van. Some of the comments I'm ignoring, because I think it's more comical. It's not being, serious, and it take away from being productive, I think. So don't get comfortable in the comfort zone. Yeah, yeah. You can't get comfortable. You can't get comfortable at all, right? Because comfort is the enemy of achievement. It's just when you get so comfortable that you do absolutely nothing. Okay, so again, if you want to get out that, if you want to convert from employee to entrepreneur, and I was just talking to somebody on my Instagram not too long ago, a young lady, she quit her company. What she say? March last year, and from March last year to March this year, she made $45,000. And all she do is put wigs together. She's one of those girls on YouTube. She's on my Instagram. She has a YouTube account too, and she helped girls how to start. They sell bundles and wigs and different things like that. And she started her business is doing great, right? We converse on the phone and stuff like that, and we talk about business. And she was like, "Yeah, Fabio, I quit my business." She said, "I had a great job." She said she was making like 60,000, a year, at her job, and she went from doing that from last year. She quit and she went full fledged from March last year to March this year. And I think she said she was at $45,000. That's what she made for the entire year. That's not bad in 1 year. That's not by just taking a leap of faith and just starting your own thing, right? So she has her website and this and this and that, and she sell bundles and hair and wigs and different things like that. She's doing phenomenal, and she's teaching other girls. She has a little ebook that she wrote. She's teaching other girls how to start their own hair business and sell bundles and different things like that. So she's doing phenomenal. You understand? But like I say, she took the leap of faith and said, you know what? I want to do this business, and I feel like, because what she was saying is her work was consuming so much that she would start her business, and she'd work on her business, do a little bit on her business, and not go back to it for like weeks, right? And then she'd hop back on it again and not go back to it for another few days or so. And she said she just got tired of that, right? So she just quit the business. She had, a significant amount saved up, and she took what she had saved up. She invested a little bit at a time until she started getting traction, and boom, she just took off, right? Her little hair business, the YouTube, and all of that just took off. So again, let me see. Yeah, so you know, and that's the same way that you guys have to be. These, can you elaborate on how the prices? Okay, jobs. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm getting so many comments here. I'm serious. Here's the thing, Mike. Mike said you have to be able to move people around and move equipment. Mike, I don't. I'm not in the moving people business, and I don't. We don't move equipment. Okay. Now, in the beginning, you might have to take your equipment, but you don't necessarily need a van to do that. I've known people that have a Ford Focus do it, or somebody to have, uh, just a small neon do it, right? So I know people that started their business and they didn't even have a car, and they're on my subscription list right here. They're on my subscription list, and they're doing phenomenal now. All they had bus tickets, bus card, and they were catching the bus, right? So you have to do what you have to do. But when you want it, as Eric Thomas would say, as bad as you want to breathe, you're going to find a way to win at all costs, even if it's catching a bus, right? So I tell people, never say never, never count yourself out, never put, that stigma on your head where you don't have this, you don't have that, so you can't do this, you can't do that. That's not true. If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to get to it, right? So again, I don't necessarily think you need a van or whatever, and that's a lot of people misconception. A lot of people think they need a van, they need to have the mount on the van, they have to have all of this equipment, and you don't. You don't. Here's You got to think smarter now, and I'm gonna give you. I'm pretty wise at this. I'm gonna give you a little help here. When I first got my first carpet cleaning jobs, when I first got my very first floor jobs, I thought the same way. Well, I don't have the truck, I don't have the mount. How am I gonna get these jobs done? You can outsource. That's one way you could do it. Outsource mean you send the job out to somebody else. They do it, right? You give them a portion of the revenue. You have the other portion of the revenue, or you can do it yourself, and you can rent the equipment and still write that equipment off as a tax break, for a tax credit, right? Because it was used for business. You keep the receipts and everything, and you can, you can write it off at the end of the year. Okay, so here it is. You don't have the machine, right? You don't have the van, but you're able to still do it. When I first did it, I had to do what I had to do. So I'm gonna tell you what I did. When I first started doing these jobs, I rented a U-Haul. They got the U-Haul pickup trucks or the vans or whatever the case is. I rented a U-Haul because it was a business expense I could write off. I rented the machine. That was another business expense that I can write off, kept those receipts, and I was able to write it off. That's when I did the job myself. I had to become creative, right? Because I didn't have the van. I had a vehicle, but the machines that I needed, I couldn't put in the vehicle, right? So I would rent a U-Haul, rent the equipment, and then in turn use it, and I complete the job, get the job done. Okay, now all of this happened after hours, so no one even know how the equipment got there, if it was my equipment or how I drove it in or didn't drive it in. No one knew, right? So I was doing the carpet cleaning job after hours. So I went on and did what I had to do. Again, when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, you're going to find a way to get it done. Okay. Now, before I go into my next point, guys, let me check your questions here. It's called a net 30. I have three vendors. My plan is to buy supplies, equipment for each contract, leave it there on site. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. Leave it there on site. Valerie, I agree. Okay. Look like you guys have a conversations with each other. That's good. I like when you guys interact with each other like this. Um, a hustler mindset. Yep. 3J. Yep. Okay. Okay, guys, let me go into my next point. The next point I want to talk about is background checking you and your company. Mike Hawk says, so are you suggesting that new entrepreneurs should not buy utility vehicles or vans? Yes, I'm suggesting that if you can't afford it. I'm suggesting that if you can't afford it. If you can afford it, by all means, go ahead because you can use it. You can still write it off, right? But if you can't afford it, don't beat yourself up. Most people they can't afford this stuff. They don't even have the money to get mop buckets and solutions and they barely have the money to get insurance, business insurance. They barely have the money to get the DBA thing. So they just trying what they need to try. They trying to do what they can do, so they can get their business off the ground. A lot of people don't have a lot of money to do a lot of things, right? So that's exactly what I'm saying. If you don't have the money, I wouldn't sweat it. I wouldn't make it a big thing like, oh, I need a utility vehicle or I need this van to run my commercial cleaning business. Now, we're not saying never get those things, okay? Somewhere down the line, when you start making money, your business start growing, you're able to invest more, then you can do more. But don't beat yourself up about it in the beginning. Because again, my business do north of $250,000 annually, and I didn't have those things, right? But I had the mindset to say, you know what? I got a carpet cleaning job. I need to get this carpet cleaning job done. So I was smart enough to say either A, I'm gonna do it the Thomas Edison way, the Henry Ford way, and I'm gonna outsource it and have somebody else do it, right? And I still get the accolades. People, oh, the carpet is beautiful. You did a great job on the scrub and what. Here it is. I outsourced the job. They wasn't there. They still think I did it. My company still get the credit for it. I still get the referrals. They send the referrals. Yes, the company that I use is Fabio Hart's company. I get the referrals and I still outsource that job to a third party vendor. They do the same thing they did for this client, for another client, and I still get all the accolades. I call it the Henry Ford effect, right? The Thomas Edison effect. They hire somebody to do what they can't do or they're not able to do, and they still get the credit for it. That's how the first Model T came about. Henry Ford didn't build that himself, but he assembled the man that knew what he didn't know, and they put that vehicle together. Yet he gets the credit for it. You understand? So that's the way I think about it. But if you have the money for it, go ahead and do it up front. But if money is a factor, don't beat yourself up. Just get started and get some money coming in, and then as you grow, you can do that. Right, Jeremy. 3J, I like you. I can tell you've been watching my videos and you've been learning a lot. That's great. I like you. DJ Boss, that's some real ish. Yeah. If most Americans own cars, why are unable to purchase? Yeah. Mike, Mike, you're missing the whole point of it. You're missing the whole point of it. You got to think smart, but you have to. People have vans because people buy vans because that's what they want. Conversion vans, utility vans, soccer mom vans, whatever. People buy the vehicles that they want. So, like you say, if they have cars, then why they can't have a van? They probably didn't know it initially when they first bought their car that they would be setting up a commercial cleaning business, right? But I don't think that they should stop doing what they're doing or stop setting up the commercial cleaning business because they don't have a van. You look at Molly Maid and all of these people, they use cars, right? So again, you have to do what you have to do. You don't when money is a factor and you don't have this money up front, then you do what you have to do, grow the business, take the revenues from that, and you invest into other things as the business grows. DJ say, he have two vans they never even use anymore, right? I mean, it's not mandatory. Let me see. Charge by the job. That's how you should do. You should. Jeremy say he charged by the job. What would you advise? I would advise you to charge by the job, flat rate. Okay, I really appreciate the feedback for sure. I needed it. I'm not sure where I'm able to. Valerie, what's your question? You say, I like the outsourcing concept. Yeah, the outsourcing concept is, you know, I like to pay people. The reason I like the outsourcing deals is because when I first started my commercial cleaning business, you guys, I didn't start with the idea that I wanted to clean carpet. That's not, or I wanted to do stripping and waxing or anything like that. But I wanted to offer those services, but not necessarily be the one to have to do those services. So what I did is I found people that was doing those specific niche markets, you know, longer than I have, right? They have 10, 15 years in it. Carpet cleaning or stripping and waxing and buffing and all of those things, right? So I hired the best people to get the job done. And again, I get the credit, right? Because they come in after hours, they strip and wax the floor, get it all waxed up, get it looking beautiful. People come in the next day and say, Fabio, you guys did a great job. I say, thank you, right? They don't know that I necessarily outsource the job out. They come in, they do the carpet cleaning. Fabio, the carpet looks fantastic. You guys did a great, thank you, right? But I pay that man good because at the end of the day, I'm going to need that man again. The greedy become the needy, right? Now, the way I do it when I outsource the job, I give the man more money than I take in. So it's a 70-30 deal. So I give him 70%, I take 30%. People say, well, Fabio, why you give him more? Because he's doing the job, right? He's doing something, he has an expertise in something that I don't have an expertise in. So I'm paying this guy more because number one, I'm going to need him again. Number two, he does great work. So it's worth that to me. And I'll take the 30% because I'm still going to have that contract. We're still going to clean that contract every night, right? So I'm not going to lose any money. I'm still going to be making a monthly residual on this particular account that this guy is going to make once a year, twice a year at the most. I mean, you don't have to clean a carpet every day, right? You don't have to clean a carpet too much. People might do it maybe once a year or twice a year. So I'll pay that guy 70% and I'll take 30%. Again, the greedy become the needy. So at the end of the day, the minute Fabio Hart call, he's going to answer my call because he know Fabio Hart pays well. I keep him under contract, use him whenever I need a carpet cleaning job. I call him. He already know what the structure is. He already know what the setup is. Okay, and it just works for me, right? It works for me. I have a painter because we do clean, move in and move out cleanings and different things like that. I have a pest control company that we have under contract that deal with mice, rodents, roaches, that type of thing, right? And I put all of these people under contract. I pay them 70-30, right? Because I want them to do a fantastic job. My company still get the credit, but I want them to do a fantastic job. And then when I hire them again, they're more prone to answer my phone calls just like that. Hey, it's Fabio. Hey, just let me know when. I'll be there, right? Because they know that we pay out good and the pay is on time. Okay, so I love outsourcing. Uh, Now, Jeremy asks, how would I prevent them from stealing the account? Well, number one, they never meet the contact person, right? The job go through me, but it's paperwork involved, right? It's paperwork. Um, I have non-disclosure agreements. I have different agreements for different things, subcontractors agreements, and everything is written in there. It's written the way it's supposed. Now, in the early on stages, I had a situation where a vendor almost stole an account of mine, but because of the way my agreement was worded, you know, um, they reneged from it. Like they bounced out of the deal, right? They weren't trying to go head and head with me because in court I was ready for it because I already knew my agreement was going to stand up. The agreement that we had, the document that they signed, I already knew it was going to stand up in court, right? So again, like I say, I had that happen one time out of my entire years of doing commercial cleaning, and it never happened again. I just tightened up my paperwork. That's all. Don't need a van. Yeah, yeah. You don't need a van. I mean, in the beginning, everybody might have to transport a vacuum cleaner from account to account. You got one vacuum. You got one this, one that. So you have to transport it in the beginning, right? Right. But as your business, as you grow your business, it'd be better if you can leave all the material right there at the account. Many times, we don't even have to use our vacs because a lot of times when you go and do the walkthroughs and whatever they show you, the janitor closet, a lot of times they have the vacuums already there. They have their own vacuums a lot of times. Even cleaning solutions and products, they have what they like for you to use for their facility, right? They say, well, we handle this, we order the product, all you guys have to do is come in and clean. Okay, so a lot of times we use their machine in terms of vacuuming. Okay, I got a storage. We got the warehouse downtown Detroit where we store all of the machines. I do have a buffer, a stripper, a waxer, a carpet cleaner machine. I have all of these different machines just in the event that I have to use it because again, my company has made money over time where I was able to finance this stuff and buy this stuff out. Okay, in case I had to do the job, I could do the job, but I would rather outsource it to somebody that's been doing it for years on end. Okay, it's I want to get on my third point, guys. I'm gonna get on it in a minute here. I'm just trying to make sure I get to these questions. If I forget you guys questions, you always can email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Yeah, a strong non-compete. Yep, yep, non-compete. How important are assets? Assets is important. Okay, outsource them. If you outsource them. Right, they only deal with you. They never deal with the actual client. And strong paperwork. That's true. DJ been watching me for a while. Jeremy Week. I don't know what that means. Fab. You guys got me lit tonight. Fabio, before the nonsense, you were speaking on the. Okay, so yeah, let me. So I got this email yesterday at like 6 a.m. So apparently, there's this company in Atlanta, and I guess they kept going into my accounts. We have a lot of apartment clean outs. We have regular chiropractors, dentist offices. We have a lot of business in Atlanta. So what the guy wanted to do is he wanted to buy me out of all of those contracts, somewhat like what happened in VA for me. VA, what happened was I sold all my business in VA to a franchise in VA. They cut me a big check, to kick things off, and then they finance the back end of everything, which is currently financing it out now until it's paid off. But I always take a big check because I can't leave a room for you to try to get over on me, right? The only thing that I ask them to do is keep my employees. This is what happened in VA, and the same thing is happening in Atlanta, Georgia, right now. I like Atlanta, and I like the residual income that's coming in. So I'm thinking about selling it, but I'm thinking about setting up a contingency where I get the royalties off of that account, which means they are clean, but they owe me X, Y, and Z, month after month for the duration of having that account. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. In VA, I did it different. I just sold it and kind of wiped my hands with it. Okay. So there, I'm not getting anything on the back end of it. Uh, but I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about it. I talked to the guy briefly, send the information over to my lawyers. Got to go through that, big thing, and we're gonna see how I go. But um, like I say, in order for somebody to want to do that, to kind of buy you out, they have to know that like you have a stable in that section. Like I guess it seemed like every account he was running into was an account that my company owned, or not owned, but that was a contract that we cleaned, and we laid the foundation because we have great service, right? We provide great service. So when you provide great service, people are not going to be so quick to kind of go with the new company when you already provide great service, right? So he emailed me, like I said, I talked to him briefly, sent everything over to my lawyer, so I kind of keep you posted on, if it's a yay or a nay, in terms of what we decide to do with this offer, okay? But it was definitely a good thing to wake up to. Philip asked, "Do we sell contracts?" I don't sell my contracts no more. I used to sell all the paperwork. I don't sell it anymore. I don't offer it anymore. Recently, I had somebody beg me to sell it to them. I turned them down on it. Jim, I'm gonna post a video tomorrow. Okay. Fabio, the middleman, doesn't even have to work anymore. Fabio, the middleman, doesn't even have to work anymore. What you mean by that? The middleman don't even. Boo. Are you selling phony emails to motivational business coaching instead of cleaning? Mike say, are you selling phony emails to sell motivational business coaching instead of cleaning? No. What you mean by that? No. I does this. 3J, you out here sure big trolling. Yeah, email post the community. Take a look for yourself. Uh, Mike suggesting that the email that I put up was phony. I'm okay with that. I sleep good at night, Mike. I'm gonna have a good year this year. Mike is a troll, yeah. Motivation, business lesson, or cleaning. When there's double, I definitely have multiple streams of income, Mike. If that's what you want to know. Cleaning isn't my only business, you know, but I think you should take a look at some of my other videos. You might learn a lot, Mike. Oh, you want some information on my business coaching? I've been doing it for a while. Attention, Mike. Yeah, that. Let me see here. Valerie, she says she want my pitch. My pitch, and my pitch for what, Valerie? You mean when I go door to door? When I go door to door, it's really simple, Valerie. When I walk in, I walk up to the desk. Most likely, you got to deal with a receptionist. You, God, thanks, Will. Is it Will? Thank you, Will. You got a few accounts. Congratulations, Kevin. A few accounts been watching you since February when I first started. Congratulations, Kevin. I'm glad that my videos has helped you, Kevin. Keep watching me. Keep watching me. Congratulations, bud. I like to see, I like to see people winning. Valerie, I haven't forgot about you. Okay, Valerie, I think she want to know. I think she want to know my pitch. Valerie, when you walk in the door or like phone call, I don't like to use any high pressure type of salesy type of thing. It's just a conversation, right? An introduction. Generally when I walk in, and this has worked for me, and I just continue to do what works for me. When I walk in the door, Valerie, of any facility, right? I know that I'm not gonna see the decision maker right then and there for the most part. For the most part, I'm not gonna see the decision maker. So I already know that it's somebody that I have to talk to get to the decision maker. So a receptionist, a desk clerk, whoever. I walk in, hello, I'm Fabio Harwell, Hollywood Janitorial Service. Who would I speak to in regards to commercial cleaning for your facility? That's all I ever say. I be quiet. I let them tell me who I would speak to them, who I would speak to. And then I ask if that person is available. If that person is available, I then in turn go ahead and introduce myself to that person and explain why I'm there. Right? Because again, it's nothing that the desk clerk, it's nothing that the receptionist can do besides put me in contact with the appropriate person that handles the commercial cleaning for the facility, right? So I don't do a lot of explaining to the desk clerk or whatever. It's a simple introduction. I walk in, hi, how are you? Hi, I'm Fabio Hartwell, Hollywood Janitorial Service. Who would I speak to in regards to commercial cleaning for your facility, right? And they'll say, oh, you need to talk to Derek Johnson or Amy White or whatever the case is, right? They tell you who you're supposed to talk to. Then you just simply access that person available at this time. If they're available, then they'll go and get them, and you can go ahead and meet them, tell them why you're there. If they're not available, then at that point, what you want to do, if you can wait around, like if you can, hold tight, depending on how long that person is going to be, then you can hold tight and speak to them. If not, you'll take a business card, you'll get the receptionist's name because you want to know who you spoke to, right? And then, like on the back of the card, you'll write the contact person name, unless his or her name is already on the card. But if they give you just a company card or just a general card, a lot of times there's no name on it. It's just the address, the name of the company, the phone number, etc. So on the front of the card, I like to write the receptionist's name. On the back of the card, I like to write the contact name. And this will help me for further contacting, right? So when I go home or whatever and I call them back, I already know who to speak to because when I was there the other day, they told me that Derek Johnson was going to be the person that I speak to, right? And I talked to Melissa Ford. That was the person at the desk, right? So because a lot of times, Derek might ask you, well, how did you get to me or who referred you to me? And it's simple as saying Melissa Ford, right? So it makes it easier. And I learned this tactic by just going in there, just doing my thing. This is nothing that someone taught me. It's just something that came natural to me. And I found it to work wonders for me. And I still use it today. Let me see here. Valerie door to door. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the phones, Valerie. I don't really persuade the decision maker. I'm not there, right? I identify if they have a company already. If they're happy with the company, I politely, let them know that I'm available, give them my card, and I exit. I don't try to hard pressure. I don't try to hard pressure anything. You understand? But while I'm there, I always try to get a chance to do a quick walkthrough. I let them know, hey, if you don't mind, we can do a quick walkthrough to see how our company can help you, to see what you need assistance in, right? And as we do the walkthrough, you take the notes. Now, this is once you talk to the decision maker, right? Once you introduce yourself. Hi, Derek Smith. I'm Fabio Harbor Hollywood Janitorial. I was just stopping by to see if you guys had a commercial cleaning company or you would be interested in a commercial cleaning company. Be quiet, let him let you know what he have or what he don't have. And then at that point, you can kind of proceed from there. If you have a company that he's happy with, you just exit. You don't try to overshine that company or nothing. That's not the best way I feel like you should handle it. Some people would tell you to just still try to overthrow that. I don't do it because that leave a bad taste in that decision maker's mouth about you and your company because of your approach, right? If they say they don't have a commercial cleaning company, they may be interested. You say, well, cool, I would love to do a quick walkthrough. You can let me know what you need done, how you would like it done, and et cetera, et cetera. You write the details up, you go home, write it up in the estimate, give them the estimate within 24 to 48 hours. That's the time frame that I like to do it. Anything past 48 hours, I feel like it's too long, right? And companies don't want to wait. I actually get it in within 24 hours a lot of times. But I would tell you to say 24 to 48 hours. Okay. You get your estimate in, you go in, and I like to tell people to physically take it in, right? Because you already met him. He already know who you are. You've seen him before. He's seen you before. Physically take the estimate into him because if you have any questions, you want him to go ahead and answer right now. I mean, ask the question right now so you can answer it right now if you have any questions about the estimate. A lot of people say, well, Fabio, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to email it. The reason I don't like to email it is because it get lost in the files, it get lost in the junk folder, it go to trash. A lot of times when you call them back, you say, hey, I sent the email. Did you guys receive it or did you receive my my estimate? A lot of times you say, oh, well, I haven't checked the email yet. Let me check the email. I'll give you a call back. You don't hear back from them. You don't know if he checked it or not, or whatever the case is, right? So I don't have the time to play the phone game, right? I want to get it quick and I want to get it done quickly. So a lot of times, like I say, what I do is physically take it in, right? Because I already know who I need to speak to. I already know who the decision maker is. He already seen me write up everything and I already know that I'm going to give him an estimate. I would just go ahead and take it back to him. So if you have any questions, you can answer his questions right then and there and then proceed with with moving along in terms of getting the service. Okay. Okay, Mike, I'm gonna have to go ahead and block you. You look like you irritating my subscribers, and we generally don't have that over here. Okay, guys, we back. I don't know if he's blocked or whatever, but I went on and I know Valerie, it's like that sometimes. Yeah, yeah, it was distracting alive. And as you guys know, I don't get a lot of trolls. Let me go ahead and jump into my last situation. I do want to thank you guys for. I did a walkthrough at a water and sewage facility. She said, "Okay." And sometimes it's like that, Daniel Roy. Sometimes it's like that. They'll let you put the estimate in just to see where your numbers come in at. Many companies do that. Many companies they're very happy with who they have. You have to think. And then we're going to talk a lot about this when I talk about the background check and that type of thing. I'm about to go into next. But you have to think that a lot of these companies don't want to go through the headache of seeing what company is going to come after the company that they already have, right? They don't know you, you don't know them. Now, if they don't have a company, then it's easy for them to take a chance, to take a dare. But a lot of times people would keep a company that's already given them a headache because they became accustomed to them, right? They know the people, they know them by name, they know the personality trait of them, right? They've been around them for so long. But some companies will let you do a walkthrough just to see if your numbers come in cheaper. If they come in cheaper, then a lot of times they will actually slash that company and go with your company just because of the numbers, just because you're cheaper, right? So you have to think, and that's how a lot of, and I tell people this all the time, but that's how a lot of franchise companies get over. A lot of franchise companies get over because see they undercut a lot of people. They undercut companies all the time. So that's how a lot of these franchise companies actually get these jobs. Okay. Okay. Okay, moving right along. Okay, I want to talk about the background checking you and your company, right? And what I mean by that is that nowadays there's a lot of companies, I've gotten emails about this, and people say, Fabio, have you experienced where a company want to background check you or background check your company or background check your employees? How do you feel about that? Here's the thing, guys. Please listen. A lot of companies, small and big companies alike, are having this notion or having this idea that they want to background check you because you have to think they're giving you keys to the building and they're giving you the code, what we call a key and a code. They're giving you the key and the code to the facility. So just because you come in, you look nice, you smell great, you know how to speak, you have, all of this good stuff going for you, they still don't know you. So a lot of times they want to background check you to see if you have a criminal record, if you a known thief, if what you got going on. Now, I'm not against that, and if they want to background check you and you feel comfortable with that, I'm sorry, then by all means, allow it. But if you say no for whatever reason, I don't want them to background check me. Yeah, Um, if you say no, I don't want them to background check me, then you just walk away from the deal. Now, not every company is doing that, but a lot of companies are starting to do that. So keep that, be aware of that, guys. When you go do your door to door or whatever the case is, they ask you, are you licensed and bonded? Are you insured and this and this and that, right? So after that, thanks for sharing so much again. Yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to give you guys value. There's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about on the YouTube that I only talk about on my coaching calls or whatever. Yeah, but like I say, DJ, it just depends on the company, depend on the person. Like I say, I'm good with them. Because I background check them anyway, so I could supply that information to them, so they don't even have to do it. I'll just supply it to them and show them that this person is a stand-up person. But a lot of times they will want to background check the company owner or want to like a full background check of your company, how you operate it, what your reviews is like. And you don't really have any reviews if you're new to this thing, right? So it's not going to be a lot. People don't have a lot to say about you because you haven't had the opportunity for people to say anything about you because you don't have a lot of contracts. If it's a company or if it's a person out there that's just starting, they don't have a lot of contracts. Okay, so be mindful of that when you guys go door to door, when you soliciting for new business or whatever. They may ask you, would you be okay with them doing a background check on you, the company owner, along with your employees? Okay, because again, they're giving you a key and a code to the facility, so essentially they want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. They used to didn't do that, but I'm hearing a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of emails across the board from city to city, state to state, with people asking me, Fabio, how do you feel about companies that ask the background check you, the company owner? I never ever had that personally. Okay, so I can't say that yes, this has happened to me, but it looked like that's some new things that they're doing now across the board. And the only thing that I can kind of think of is the fact that you are going to have access to the facility, a key and a code. The code is just the alarm code where you can set the alarm at the end of the night. After exiting, after exiting a building, you set the alarm. Or if you're going in, you could disarm the building, go in the building and clean it and disarm it. That way you can have access to the building. Okay, so please be mindful of that. I haven't talked a lot about that on this channel because it's something kind of new for me. This is not something that I could personally say I went through. So I'm just letting you guys know that that's something that you might want to stay mindful of when you go door to door, when you're doing your phone callings or your solicitation and getting a new business. Okay, so that'll pretty much do it as far as the topics that I wanted to talk about. So I would allow you guys to ask me, questions for the remaining of this video if you have any questions. If you want to email me, it's bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART at gmail.com. Bookfabiohart at gmail.com. Okay. You guys have any questions for me? Thanks for blocking the troll. Yeah. Let me see. I did a walkthrough. Okay. What do you think about that? Government contracts, royalties for sure. If you decide to sell, keep a piece of the pie. Yeah, for sure. Jeremy said, thanks for sharing so much. Yeah, man, I feel like, when you share a lot, it's still, like I say, it's still things that I don't talk about on the live, but I do try to give you guys, that's why my lives be so long. We damn near 2 hours long on this particular live. And it'd be so long like this because I really want you guys to win. I really want you guys to excel in this. You understand? But I know it's going to take a lot of work. And a lot of times there might be other YouTubers that don't break things down the way I break it down. I try to break it down to the lowest common denominator, like where your daughter can do that, your little son can do this, right? I try to break it down. How much is my coaching? I charge $300 per hour for my coaching. It used to be $100 per hour. Uh, I do run specials on it because sometimes $300 could be tight. I feel like it's worth every bit of that. Right now, I'm running. I think we have a special. It's 200 for the hour. You like buy one get one, 1 hour free, right? So it's basically like 200 for 2 hours, but it would typically be $300 per hour. Okay. I don't offer any of the paperwork. I don't offer, yeah, F5, damn son. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to pay for, like when you go and get the iPhone, you can't really cut a deal with Apple, right? You either going to do, put down the down payment or you're going to pay what they asking or you just have to get an Android, right? Or you have to get, a flip phone or you have to get a, different model phone. So, I'll stick to the live videos for now. Yeah, yeah. So, like I say, I started off at $100, right? It used to be a point where I didn't even charge. It used to be a point that I would just talk to you and give you the information. But the thing was, is that people wasn't finding, for whatever reason, wasn't finding value, and I was getting more people to just talk to me just to see if I sound like I sound on my videos, right? So they'll be more, oh my God, I'm talking to Fabio from YouTube instead of the knowledge and the information that come behind that come behind that. So once I put a price tag on it, I found a lot of my subscribers started doing incredibly well once they had to pay for it, right? So it's like the demand, right? So I provide great coaching, you know so I upped the price. I went from 100 to $300 an hour. I sent you an email to your team. Thanks for reaching out. Okay. So, like I said, right now we're running a special um, for 200 for the hour, and then we're giving an hour free. And they don't have to run consecutively. It could be an hour next month. Like you can use it whenever you want to use it, right? So, and my coaching is very, very valuable. Like I say, it's a lot of stuff that I talk about on the coaching that I do not talk about on the videos. Okay. And I talk from A to Z how I built my system. I talk about how I deal with the carpet cleaning section of my business, the window cleaning. I break it down, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like I break it down, right? How I started, how I market, how I pick up my residential clients, how I pick up my commercial clients, other little techniques that I haven't talked about on YouTube. So I kind of keep it that way for those people that's really serious about advancing the business. I pretty much give you my McDonald blueprint over the coaching. That's kind of what I do. At Val, go on a date. I got two contracts, property managers, and I'm their vendor. So excited. Kylie, that's good. That's good. Oh, Daniel Roy, he said, "What would you?" I have to quote. If I have to quote 15, get 5. Just email me, Daniel. Bookfabiohart at gmail.com. Bookfabiohart at gmail.com. Just email me. Mallory, she said, are there any alternatives that are cost effective for business consulting with you outside of the 300 to 150 an hour? Uh, it's really not, Valerie. Unfortunately, like I say, you're definitely gonna get value with it. If you read up and down my comments, I got over 400 or 500 videos. You read up and down my comments. There are a slew of people that then did coaching with me that say that'll tell you how effective they write it right there on the comments. I get emails and all type of stuff, from people that went through the coaching and different things like that, where my coaching has helped them. See, it's one thing to get the coaching and listen to me and take notes. It's another thing to execute on what I say, right? If Donald Trump, Bill Gates, or anybody that you had coaching with them and they told you to do something, you're more prone to do it because of who they are, right? Because you believe in what they say, because you know what they stand for. So, like a lot of the people, like my subscribers, they invest in themselves by investing in me because they know I stand for something. I stand on principles, right? I also give valuable information, right? You don't get off the call. I say per hour, but there's times where I've been on the phone with people for like 2 hours on a 1 hour phone call because it wasn't as much about the money as it was about the information that I wanted them to have, right? I wanted them to have the information. So by the time they get off the phone, they can say, you know what, I learned a lot. I got a lot of notes. I got to execute on what he said. And a lot of times they do and come back and tell me, man, when you said that on a coaching call, man, that was unique. That was something that I haven't heard anybody talk about on other videos, right? So, and I know other YouTubers watch my videos too, and they do their version of my videos. So I get that a lot because a lot of times people come and say, hey, this person sounds just like you when they said da 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 da. And, whatever, so for 2 hours, yeah. Well, if you do the 1 hour, so I mean, technically it's $100 an hour right now. Yeah, if you look at it from that aspect, it'd be like $100 an hour if you look at it from that aspect. Uh, but I look at it like, okay, you get the first hour, and then the second hour is just totally free. Like I'm not gonna charge for it. So that's just a promotion that I'm running right now because typically it'll be $300 for 1 hour flat, right? And then after that, if you want another 1 hour, it'll be another $300, right? Typically. So, um, like I say, and people pay it, because they know it's value that come behind it. Probably in a week, I probably get 10 bookings. I probably get 10 bookings for coaching. Even when I was selling the paperwork, I had two people like beg me to sell them for the paperwork. I think it was late last week or so. I know just recently I had somebody ask me about my paperwork, lead generation, and stuff like that. I just stopped. Those programs wasn't meant to be long-term programs, so that's where I stopped. Like I say, I wasn't making any profit off of those programs when I was offering interesting vacation as they are recurring clients. Yeah, anything reoccurring is definitely good business. But like I say, I wasn't making any profits off of those things. I was just selling it to help you guys out that didn't have contracts, that didn't have non-compete, non-disclosure agreements, that didn't have an estimate breakdown form. Those type of things. You didn't have those forms, so that's why I was offering the paperwork. The lead generation is because I'm pretty good at the phones. I train my staff to do the exact same thing that I'm having you guys do. So that's why I put the whole lead generation program together. And like I said, we stopped doing all of that. So the only thing that you can purchase from me right now is coaching, and that'll be, well, right now with the special. But outside of the special, it'll just be $300 per hour. So um, let me see. Yeah, Kylie. See, you could put your own little swing on it, Kylie. You do vacation rentals. Um, you know, you can carve out your own niche market. Whatever you want to do. Like I know people that just do move in and move out, like apartments and stuff. They don't do no other commercial property. They just do apartments because that's the market. That's where they want to penetrate everything, right? They want to penetrate just apartments. Daniel Roy, he says, "And any tips for having an in-house cold calling team?" Yes, just have an effective script and stay good on your training them, right? The way to train is you don't want to make it sound like they're reading off paper. Even though you're going to provide them the script, you don't want them to necessarily have to read it verbatim from the sheet, right? You want just to be a natural conversation, and that comes with training. Jeremy said, "Imagine paying for good advice you shouldn't have to pay for." But see, the thing is, I look at it from a different perspective. I don't always, number one, I don't always do a discount. Jeremy, good night, clean vessel. I don't always do a discount on it. So when I do, a lot of people do jump on it because they know the value that come behind it. But when I do it, that's like my way of giving back because I've been so blessed, right? I've been so blessed. Year after year, my income is going up, right? I get new contracts, bigger contracts, better connects. I'm connected with like the social circus circles in my area in terms of like politician in my area. Like I know cops in my area. I network a lot, so I meet a lot of different people. So I have a lot of different advantages that others don't have, right? And I don't necessarily brag on that or whatever. I just make the necessary moves that I need to make so I can have a better profit margin, if you will. You understand? So that's why I attend these networking lunches and I get invited to these different things, where the newscasters be, where the city hall members be, um, the mayor, and different things like that in my area. I try to stay in the loop of things because you never know who, and you never know where your next account is going to come from, right? And outside of that, I do other things. I have other, yes, that's how you do it. So outside of that, I have other business too, and investments, right? So that's why I don't so much trip on the coaching. There's people that told me that I should raise it up. Like I say, if you read the comments, on different videos, you'll see where people say his your coaching is magnificent. You have great coaching. Thanks for the coaching, Fabio. I get tons of emails that come through after that. People say they sending me their deal. They say, Fabio, I got this building. I need help on getting the numbers. Let me send you over the information, and can you help me put my estimate together? I never did an estimate before. I didn't help people get $1,000 accounts, $5,000 accounts. I had a guy. He was going after a 70,000 square foot building. I think we got that for under just right under $10,000, right? In terms of that's one count under $10,000, right? Based on what it was he had to do. So, I helped him with the bid. He got the deal, and that was his very first deal, right? So, like I say, it just depends, man. I get my blessings from it. No, I know you didn't mean it like that. I know you didn't mean it like that, Jeremy. I didn't take it that way at all. I didn't take it that way at all. Yo, five, don't stop. Give me a good game. I appreciate it. You and AJ are the only ones that look like us, motivating, explaining the cleaning game. Yeah, yeah. AJ, he's a great guy too. I haven't spoke to him in a real long time, so I don't know what he's currently doing or what's new with him. But yeah, he's a great guy, and he have a great heart. He mean well in his videos. And I had people complain to me about him and stuff like that. And I always send people over his way. Like if people ask me, hey, what do you think about AJ's system and AJ's this and AJ's that? And like I say, it's enough revenue for everybody to go around. I've never been a hater because I'm doing well. Successful people don't hate on successful people. You know, Jay-Z, he's not worried about nobody, else in the rap game. He's successful. He's doing his thing, right? So, and that's the way I look at it. Like, I'm successful at what I do. AJ successful at what he do. We just on two different spectrums. Well, I think somebody told me he doesn't even do franchise no more. I'm not sure, but I'm independent. I'm not sure if he's independent, but he mean well. His system, his programs or whatever, he mean well. So, I think AJ is pretty good. So I don't have anything bad or negative, to say about him or his programs or whatever he have to offer. But when people ask me, do you think I should invest in AJ program? I say, yeah, give it a shot. If it worked for you, great. If it doesn't don't work for you, then you just kind of reevaluate. There's a lot of things that I invest in and it don't always work for me, but I don't know until I invest, right? So I look at it as a learning lesson. I don't get mad. 30-day money back guarantee. I don't worry about none of that stuff, right? It's just the nature of the beast. You're gonna invest some. You're gonna have some winners because when you have winners, you don't complain about that. So I feel like you shouldn't complain about when you lose. Real entrepreneurs, they do not complain. Real entrepreneurs, they do not complain. If they have a miss where they effed up and something didn't go right, they just reevaluate that situation and make it right. That's it. Real entrepreneurs, if they take a loss with money, like I've taken a loss, I've invested, money, and I tried different things, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted. Well, I took an L, but I reevaluated the situation and made sure that I was going to learn from that experience, right? I didn't get mad at anybody. I didn't get mad at myself. Again, life is too short. I don't focus on the negative. I try to figure out what I did wrong, reevaluate it, execute, and make it right. Jeremy on is something. Jeremy on is something. But like I say, it has a lot to do with your script, the training, the people that you have calling. I always feel like you should do a lot of the front leg work in the beginning. So before you go to hire somebody into your facilities, before you go to hire somebody to do the phone calls, I feel like you should be the test dummy, so to speak. You should be the person that's making the phone calls. You should be the person that's cleaning the facilities, that's learning the facilities. So when it's time to train somebody, you're better equipped to be able to train them. be it by phone, whether they doing cold calling, right? Because you know the pitfalls, you know where you effed up at, right? Real entrepreneurs don't complain. Yep, real entrepreneurs, they don't complain. You do not hear, Trump, Warren Buffett, Jay-Z. Many of them have losses, right? You know, um, they just don't complain. They reevaluate the situation. They realize that it was a loss, and they just move on and make it right. That's all. Hey, love bugs. Now, and another thing I want to talk about is courses. A lot of people ask me about different courses and selling courses and things like this. Do not buy every sales course. Okay, guys? And I'm gonna let you guys go in a minute. I know you guys probably getting tired, but do not buy everybody's sales course. Okay? Here's the thing. If you keep buying all the different information in everybody's sales course, you're never gonna really get out there and really utilize what you just bought, right? Because you're gonna go from course to course. Like people ask me all the time, Fabio, what course do you think I should buy? I own sales course and selling courses and different things like that. I own different programs. Okay. Now the programs that I could tell you guys to buy is really, really pricey, but it works. It works. If you execute on the information, it will work. You understand? But I'm more prone to going the book route. I like audio books. You can get Audible, right? Where you can listen to audio books. Um, you can go, on Amazon and buy the regular book, or you can go to like Barnes and Nobles for any bookstore outlet, right? And buy these books. They might be like $25, $30, but it's worth it, right? The air is not the price of the book, it's the information in it, right? So again, stay away from everybody's webinar, stay away from everybody's course, stay away from everybody's, because it's just so much. By the time you're done with one course, found somebody online that's offering another course. By the time you're done with that course, found somebody that's offering a webinar, and it's all on the same topic that you're interested in. You're never going to get your business off the ground and get your business started because you're steady reading this course, you're steady listening to this course, you're steady tuning in to this webinar, tuning in to this podcast. You got to, right? So you're putting all this money out for these different courses and even books that you don't get started with your business. When I read a book, guys, when I purchase a book, offline or online, I read a little information, bookmark it, execute on the information I read, come back to the book, read some more information, bookmark it, execute on the information that I read. That's how I read my books. I can't just sit here and read, the book from cover to cover like that. I just don't have the time to do that. So I will read in my spare time, bookmark it, execute on what I've read, come back to it, bookmark it, execute on what I read until I finish the entire book. Audio books, I listen to audio books in my car, right? I got it on my phone, I plug the aux cord in, and I straight listen to it in my car. Okay? I like to listen to a lot of motivational stuff, right? Because people say, well, Fabio, how do you stay motivated? Well, number one, I want to succeed and I want to be better than I was last year. So that's motivating within itself. But I like to listen to Anthony Robbins and E.T. Eric Thomas and Jim Rohn and Grant Cardone and Gary Vee. I like to listen to some of these guys. Okay. Thanks for all the information. Okay. All right, 3J. So I like to listen to all of these guys because they motivate me. They kind of keep me going. And I'm motivation to some of you. Some of you guys, when you're down and out, you give me an email. You say, hey, Fabio, I need to talk to you ASAP. And I call you and chop it up with you. You tell me what's going on in your personal life. You tell me what's going on. And Fabio, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in that situation? And I go ahead and kind of tell you what I would do in each situation, because every situation is different. I talked to, some of my lady subscribers about, their boyfriends and this different things and different, because, it's life sometimes. Grant is the man with the 10X. Yeah. Yeah, I like Grant. I got all his books on audiobook. I got a lot of his books that I bought. Gary V is another one, right? So again, life is hard. Life is hard. Business is hard. The only way that you can no, no, like that. Thank you. Oh, I thought he was talking to me. I think he's talking to another. But yeah, I forgot my train of thought, you guys. But anyway, like I say, you definitely want to stay motivated. You want to get out there. I'm gonna end it with this, guys. Make sure you run your business like a presidential campaign. I can't stop saying that enough. Stay on it. In order for you to get contracts, you have to stay on it. Okay, you have to go door to door. I preach that because I do it. It works. It's not as difficult as it seems. It's only difficult for those that don't give it a try. It's only difficult for those that don't give it a try. You can't do it one day and you didn't get any contracts, so you feel like it doesn't work. It's not how it works, right? And that's with any business. That's for people that even rappers, people that want to that want to start business online. You can't just set it up tonight and you say, you know what, I did what they said on this YouTube video. I didn't get any sales, so it doesn't work. That's not how business works. Kylie, that's exactly how you supposed to do it, Kylie. You work net 30, you do it net 30. You work in 30 days, you work in 30 to 60 days yourself, right? And then you accumulate. I've also had people that I told, hey, don't hire, for the entire year. I've had people where I told don't hire for the entire year. That way you can, whatever your businesses are that you're cleaning, the facilities, your clients that you're cleaning for, you would know them like the back of your hand, or at least 6 months in, Kylie. So if you had, let's say, 5 or 6 accounts that you're cleaning on a consistent basis, then I would suggest that you clean those accounts, maybe for 6 months straight before you even hire. Now, if you find yourself being wear down because cleaning can wear you out, then hire somebody. Okay, hire somebody. But like I say, with 6 accounts, you only need, besides yourself, you only need maybe 2 other people. I know when I had 6 accounts, I had 2 people working for me, and I spread the accounts out. I, delegated the work out evenly. Okay, and then as I grew and got more business, I might hire one more person, right? But I didn't want to just be in this hiring magnet where I want to hire all of these people, because you got to remember, Kylie, the more people you hire, the more that takes from your revenue. That's why you see Ford Motor Company and some of these big manufacturers. That's why they cut back. They cut back because, well, some companies are just flat out being cheap, but a lot of companies cut back because it's taking a lot from the profits, right? Because they got to pay it out, so it's taking a lot from the profits. So they cut back, but in turn, when they cut back, what that normally does is double the workload up on the individuals that they already have working, right? It doubles the workload. So, like I say, you know, If you got 6 accounts, you can do that by yourself, depending on how frequent the clean is and how often you got to clean it. You do that for 6 months to a year, then you have 6 months to a year worth of revenue that you don't have to pay out to anybody else. So by the time the next year come or the next 6 months come around, right, you've already built kind of like a nest egg. You already have a significant amount of money in savings because again, over those 6 months, you was getting paid on those net 30s, or over that year, you was getting paid on those net 30s. So by the time the next year come, right, you're able to hire somebody because you should have a significant amount of money saved or allocated for when you hire someone. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what I would suggest. In the early on stages, or if you feel like it's just too much, just hire one person, and between you and that one person, you delegate the work out evenly. So they're not doing more than you. You're not doing more than them. You're not got too much of the barrier on you. You don't put too much of the barrier on them because again, you got to think if you put too much work on somebody, they're more prone to quit, especially if the money isn't there. If they don't feel like they're being paid enough, they'll quit, right? So it's a lot of different ways you can handle it. But like if you email me bookfabiohart at gmail got bookfabiohart at gmail.com, I can kind of go over some different little angles and different little things, some specifics that you can do. Okay. But that's bookfabiohart at gmail.com. If you guys have proposals that need to be done, estimates that need to be done, what have you, you want me to take a look at it or you want me to help you, I will help you at no fee. Um, just as long as you don't bring every deal. Because when I say at no fee, I find that a lot of people, every time they get a new potential client, they'll email me like, hey, Fabio, I got another client. Can you help me with this deal? So I helped them get the last deal. They got in the gate. Now they got a new potential deal. They want me to help them with that. Maybe I get them in the gate, and then they want to bring me all the deals and want me to help them get in the gate. So, like I say, I don't have a problem with helping. Um, I'm generally pretty good with the numbers in terms of helping people get into these contracts. In other words, when you do your walkthrough, you get your information, put it together, you contact me via email, your name, your phone number. I call you up, see what you have, and we kind of work it out over the phone based on the information that you have from the walkthrough. I help you come up with your numbers, show you how I came up with it so you'll have a better understanding on how to do your numbers. And boom, there you go. You turn in your numbers and hopefully you get the job. I don't get every job, so I'm just letting you know, but at least you would know how to go about to do it. Because some people, if they never done it before, that scares the shit out of them because they're like, I never did an estimate before. I don't even know where to start. You understand? So I generally I help people, at no fee for that. So any advice on net 30 contracts and paying staff? Um, Well, it's up to you. It's your business. Some companies pay weekly. Some people pay once a month. You could pay once a month. You're just happy fourth, everyone. Happy fourth to you. Some people pay once a month. You can pay once a month. You just have to disclose everything up front. Do you split up your bank accounts? Have you read Profits First? Is that a book? It's called Profits First. I haven't read it. Let me jot it down though. Is that a book? Profits First. If someone keep paying late after you. Kevin, how you been, Kev? I haven't talked to you in a while. Kev, email me, Kev. I want to talk to you, bro. I think you're local to me. I'm gonna give you an account, Kev. that's close in your area. I'm feeling generous. I wanna help you out. I think you emailed me before about if I had any accounts for sale. Um, I explain the details. Just email me bookfabiohart@gmail.com. I haven't talked to you in a while, Kev. Um, I wanna profits first. My with my bank accounts, I have several bank accounts. I have several bank accounts. Okay, Kev, make sure you do so. I have several bank accounts, and everything is allocated for different things, right? Um, First thing first, a lot of people say pay yourself, okay, and I do believe in that. You know, a lot of people say pay yourself first, and I do believe in that. I think you should watch the profits, right? Watch the profits. And like I say, anything and everything can cut into the profits from equipment to employees to, that's why I tell people early on, less is more in the beginning, right? Less is more. You want to build that revenue stream up. And I would take the profits. And I know this kind of getting off a subject, but this is what I do now. In the beginning, it wasn't prevalent with me. I wasn't doing it, but get an investment vehicle that you would like to invest in, via real estate, stocks, bonds, whatever it is, right? Um, get an investment vehicle that you will want to invest in, and have a certain dollar amount on a monthly basis go into that particular investment. Okay, because like I say, everybody know that the real millionaires and billionaires know, and I learned these from my mentors who are millionaires. They make more money while they sleep than while they're awake, right? Because they understand the power of the money, working for them. You understand? So, in the beginning stages, you're working for the money, right? You're developing your business, getting your business out there, but ultimately, you want your money to work for you. So you want to allocate, different funds and different things for that. And I know that's kind of getting off a topic, and it might feel like it's getting all over the place. But I generally say IRS first. So make sure that everything is accounted for, and IRS is getting their fair share because they're gonna get theirs one way or another. I have a friend. He was audited the last 2 years in a row. Okay, he has a commercial cleaning business. He was audited the last 2 years in a row. And thank God for me, everything, and the people that I have around me, I've never been audited since I've had my commercial cleaning business. I've never been audited. So I like to say IRS first instead of like profits first. I say you should watch the profits. You should watch the numbers and make sure not too much is cutting into the profits. But I like to say IRS first. I don't want to play with them. Kevin. Oh, let me answer your question, Kevin. I don't know if you're still on here. Okay, Kevin asked me, if someone keep paying late after you brought it to their attention multiple times, what would you do? Um, Cancel the contract. Cancel the contract, because what had happened is that money will start adding up, and then they get to a point where they owe you so much that you may or may not ever get the money. You understand? So you don't want to say, okay, they took $50 out of this billing, they took $50 out of that billing, they took $50 out of the next billing, and here it is, you brought it to their attention, all three times. So here come the fourth month. You think that you're going to get all this back pay, which is $150 because of the $50 that they took out of those other billings, and then they take another $50 out. yet you're getting paid, but you're not getting paid what you're supposed to get paid. You understand? So now it's a time to not only bring it to their attention, but it's time to put it in writing and demand the money. Don't let them say, "Well, we're gonna pay you on the next billing." Give them a deadline in that letter, the day that you need the money by. Okay. Now, depending on how much it is, I would say go to court. For $200, is not worth. You have to take the L, um, or you can become creative and like send it to collections. I learned how that works. You understand? But um, where you can collect the debt, you send it. Sell the debt, take a loss, and then have it sent to collections. Okay, but it may not even be worth all of that. You understand? You might just have to like take the loss. But what I would do is write them a letter and give them a specific date that you have to have whatever that back pay is. Okay, and make it urgent and stop service. Stop service. Okay, so like I say, now if you want to take it to court, like I say, with the filing fees and different things like that, it's going to cost you anyway. So I'm not sure how much you owe, but if it's something like a $200 or $100 or I don't know, $300, it might not be worth your time for court, right? So, but like I say, definitely cut the service, and the payment is due now, immediately. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. Like for the most part, companies pay on time. For the most part, at least the companies that my company work for, most times they pay on time. We have certain situations where they pay late because of holidays or because of a mix up or whatever on their end, and then the check be there. What I would suggest that you do, Kevin, is offer an alternative for a lot of your clients, because a lot of clients, if you offer it to them, will pay you by check card or by credit card, where you can kind of key the transaction in and you can automatically debit it out of their account month after month. Okay, a lot of people is sleeping on that. My company, we currently do it. You still send out the invoice, but you keep the information on file where you automatically, just a reoccurring fee, you automatically deduct that out of their account month after month on the day that it's supposed to be deducted on. Okay. Yes, that's a great book, and they have profit first contract is essential. That's what we are. Okay. You guys have any more questions for me? Ah, that was life. You guys have any more questions for me? If you guys need to email me, you can do so at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's bookfabiohart@gmail.com. If you have any questions for me. Um, if not, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. If you guys don't have any more questions. Who do I hire for my cold calling? It's locally. It's locally. It's not actually in my city. It's out of Toledo, where I used to stay, Ohio. But it's local, so I don't outsource it to like any overseas third party company. I hire the individuals like that I meet, that I see, right? And they work directly out of my office out of Toledo, Ohio, and that's who make those cold calls. And it's all work from a script. It's a lot of training to go behind that. But yeah, it's locally. Yeah. Guys, have any more questions for me? I appreciate you too, Daniel. I appreciate you too. I just want you guys to get all your questions answered. You know, just want to make sure you guys succeed at the highest level. Make sure you guys invest in yourself. I tell people this all the time. Please invest in yourself, be it books, mentors, seminars. It might seem like a waste of money, guys, but this stuff like really help. Um, don't go broke doing it. I wouldn't tell you to do that, but definitely invest in yourself. And I'm real big on books, even if it's a book that you don't need necessarily now, but you know you might need in the future. Go ahead and purchase it, right? Add it to your library because you never know when you need that information. Okay. Motivational stuff. I'm real big on that this day and age. A lot of motivational stuff you can get right here on YouTube. You don't even so much got to purchase it, right? I took the leap of faith and went to the 10x, and it changed my life. Yeah, I've been to a 10x. I like Grant. I like Grant Cardone. I don't think that his method is for everybody, right? Um, but I do comprehend his message well and understand his message well. Um, but he has a way in presented it that I feel like that turns people off, and a lot of people just not gonna grab it. A lot of people just not gonna be able to 10x their business or 10x their career or 10x anything because they can't comprehend or they can't grab the way Grant presented. I guess that's the best way to put it. So, but yeah, I like Grant Cardone. I have all his books. Um, I have his books on audio book too. So I have the hard copy and the audio books right here on my phone. So whenever I needed to kind of tap in and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do correctly, I kind of tap right into Grant stuff. I like Gary V. So there's a lot of people that I like. But like I say, whether it's seminars, books, invest in yourself. Just don't get caught up in all these coaching programs. And I know that sounds like counter what I'm saying, but don't get caught up in everybody coaching program because everybody have a coaching program, and a lot of times the information is rehashed. There's no validity behind the information. So here it is, you have two, three, four coaching programs, and a lot of times people just don't get started with their business. At least that's what I find. Same thing with books and audiobooks. If you're gonna get a book, try to get a book that you might need right now. Read it, execute on some of the information, read some more, execute. Because if you kind of sit down and try to read the whole book and say, you know what, I'm not gonna start my business until I finish this book. A lot of people don't even get finished with a book. They don't read a whole book all the way through anyway. Yeah, yeah. And people ask me, they say, Fabio, you're gonna do a course? You should do a course. No, because I don't make money because of people that rock with me, right? They'll buy the course. Hey, I got the Fabio course. But most people that get a course, and it's not because it's me. Most people that get a course, they won't even read all of the information. They won't even listen to all of the audios, the CDs, or whatever, right? They won't even do nothing with it. They'll just get the course just to say, hey, I got Fabio's course, right? And I understand that. So that's why I do the coaching. I want to do. That's why I was selling the paperwork, because this is something that you can, if you get a contract, this is something you can use right here, right now. You can use this paperwork. This is something that you can use, provided you get a contract. You get an employee, you can use this application, right? You're dealing with a subcontractor, you can use this subcontractor's agreement, right? Even when I was offering the lead generation, this was something that you could use. A lot of people, they couldn't get in the door. Fabio, how do you do it? So we use my in-house staff that do the same cold calling for me. We have them cold call your cold calls and get you in the door to be able to do the walkthrough. So that was something that you can use. It wasn't a course. It was, you pay for a service, and we get the results, get you in the door. So you send us the leads, we call it, get you in the door, and boom. So a lot of people didn't build their company off of my lead generation program. Some people hit, and quite frankly, some people missed with my lead generation program, right? So, and you're always going to have that with everything. I'll be lying to you if I say everybody that joined my lead generation at the time hit home runs. They didn't, because everybody didn't have the same mindset when it came down to it. Everybody wasn't sending the leads in, or the leads that they were sending was weak leads, right? It wasn't leads that was giving them no type of traction, right? So, like I say, you know, uh, you want to invest in yourself, but you also want to be careful how you invest in yourself. I'll put it that way. Okay. Guys, have any more questions for me before I wrap things up? Any more questions for me? Any more questions for me? Okay. Have a good night. All right, guys. I think I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Again, if you guys have any further questions, you can always email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Again, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Um, if you're interested in the coaching, I am running a special on that for those that's interested. Um, Thank you a ton. I hope I didn't offend you. No, not at all, Valerie. You're good. You're good. Thank you for staying on this long, watching me. Um, if you guys need any help with your bids or estimates, proposals, or anything like that, again, book fabiohart@gmail.com. You can send it over to me. I try to help you guys. BOOK. Let me see. I'm cleaning a new dental. Hey, Leon, that's the best way. What did I tell you, Leon? What did I tell you? I told you so, right? I told you, you get those small dentist offices, man, those little clinics, chiropractors, you know, little entities. You do 4 hours a month, 4 hours a week, right? Make four, five, $600, $700, man. You can find those all day. Leon, if you go ahead and get like five more of those at $500, you're doing good, bud. And that's just keeping it low. That's not even looking at the big business. You understand? That's why I tell people to go after small to medium sized accounts. Small to medium sized. Don't worry about the accounts like this, like what I have right here. This is a big account. Don't worry about this account. Not right now. You can make a ton of money doing smaller to medium sized accounts. That's even better. See, Leon be listening to what I'm saying. Like I tell people, so that's within a 5 mile radius. I tell people all the time, start 5 miles from where you live, north, 5 miles south, 5 miles east, 5 miles west from where you live. Right? If you can't get it popping within a 5 mile radius, north, east, south, west, then try 10 miles, north, east, south, west. Right? Again, there's a lot of money to be made out here, guys. Congratulations, by the way, Leon. I'm so proud of you, bud. Just kind of keep it going and go after accounts like that, man. Go after accounts like that. $500 a month. 4 hours a month. 2 hours a week. Whatever the case is. It's probably only maybe either it's probably anywhere between 1 to 3 times a week cleaning. You know, probably about 2 times a week, maybe once a week, right? $500 a month. You can't beat it. Just think if you get five more accounts like that at that same dollar amount, or even $300, it all adds up. It all adds up. It all adds up, and it all adds up very, very quickly. So that's what I try to tell people. You know, a lot of people, uh, I get in debates all the time, like on social media. People say, well, you know, I'm not into commercial. I'm into carpet cleaning, or I'm into, you know, floor care, or whatever the case is. And those are great. It's only once a week, only Wednesday. That's good, man. That's good, and it's $500. You can't beat it. So they go to show you that what I've been saying is right. I've been telling people get once a week accounts, twice a week accounts, 3 times a week accounts. Right? You can make a ton of money with those type of accounts. Right? And you still, here it is, you only work, you say what, 4 hours a month with that account, and man, you still got the rest of the week to do whatever you want to do. You're doing it once a week, you still got the rest of the week. That's a guaranteed $500 a month. Week after week, month after month, year after year, you're still going to make that money. You understand? As long as you provide great service, obviously. So that's good, bro. I'm glad to that. I'm glad to see that you watching these videos, and that it's helping you, and that you just focusing on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go, man. I want to thank you guys for definitely staying with me the whole time. Again, if you have any questions, you need help on bidding, or or doing your proposals or estimates, or whatever the case is. It's a big difference of 4 hours only. Oh, 4 hours per clean. Okay, yeah, it's not bad. You guys can, like I say, email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Bookfabiohart@gmail.com. I'm Fabio Hart, the only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. Take care.